Hi, I'm here to talk to you about the 4Ds of disconnection. First of all, that phrase was created by Marshall Rosenberg, who's the founder of nonviolent communication. And generally, sort of overarching what it means is there are certain communication behaviors that we all have, or that we've all learned as we've grown up, that actually prevent us from connecting with other people. So they actually create more disconnection than connection. The first one that I'm going to talk about is diagnosis. Diagnosis can be judgment or diagnosing the situation, trying to figure it out. It's kind of all in your head. And it can sound like things like, well, what you could have done is this or that. Or, well, maybe what he meant was this or that. And so it's about trying to figure out the thing rather than actually connecting with what are the feelings and needs of the person in front of you. Like, why are they even talking about this thing? The more that we can connect to feelings and needs, the more sense of connection we have with ourselves, in fact, and also others. And the next one is denial of responsibility. For me, this was one of the harder ones to get when I was first introduced to NVC, but it's also one of the more powerful ones once I actually got it. So I'll give you an example in my life. At the time that I was learning NVC, I was living in Flagstaff, Arizona. And Flagstaff has like 200 trains that run through it every single day. And one whole set of trains that go by are right in downtown Flagstaff. So it can be really kind of challenging to get across the tracks to the other side. And I lived on one side of the tracks and I worked on the other side of the tracks. So I showed up late for work almost every morning. And my line was, sorry, I'm late. I had to stop for a train. Sorry, I'm late. The train stopped me. Sorry, I'm late. The train was there and I had to wait. And then one day I got it. Oh my goodness. All of this that I've said is denial of responsibility. So I'm saying I'm late because of the train, but I live in the town that has 200 trains that go by every single day. And I know that. So if I'm really taking responsibility for my timeliness, I actually just need to leave a few minutes earlier. It sounds so basic, doesn't it? I think another way that we deny our responsibility is, say our spouse wants us to stay home with the kids. So we say to our friends, sorry, I can't go out tonight. My wife wants me to stay home with the kids. Or my husband wants me to watch the kids today. It's denial of responsibility because I'm not tending to, or at least acknowledging, my own needs. So another way of saying it could be, sorry, I can't go out tonight. I'm going to stay home with the kids and support my wife in getting some rest. Or I'm going to stay home with the kids to keep my agreements with my spouse because it really matters to me. So it simply means that the more we take responsibility for the decisions and choices that we make, the greater the opportunity for connection with the other person that we're talking with. The third one is demand. Demand is also kind of challenging. I was just talking to a friend about demand energy the other day, actually. So demand is when we make a request of somebody, and if they were to say no, there would be some kind of negative repercussion, or it might even impact our ability to enjoy our relationship. And what NVC asks us to be is more aware of the times and places where we put demands on other people, which means that if they don't do what we want or they don't do what we ask, there will be negative repercussions in our relationship. The more we can have an attitude of willingness to hear a no, the better connected and more joyful our relationships will be. That doesn't mean that sometimes things are really precious to us. In this particular one is an understanding that needs are abundant, and our specific strategies or our specific preferences on how to meet those needs, it's what is scarcity thinking. So for instance, if I say I have a need for connection, so I ask you to go to dinner with me, but you really are tired that night and you really don't want to go to dinner with me, then I have a choice. Do I make it a demand of you? No, you have to go to dinner with me tonight. Or do I also consider your needs? So, oh, I get that. I know you're so tired tonight. And I do still have such a strong need for connection and fun with you. Would you be open to going out another night? Or are you okay talking on the phone for a little while? Or could we do something else besides go for a drink? Something that would also meet my needs for connection and yours for rest. So for instance, I mentioned a minute ago that I was just talking to demand energy with a friend. She was talking to me about something she really wanted from her children. And I was giving her empathy as a way of coming to a bigger connection to her need rather than the specific thing she wanted them to do. Now, in the end, she could still ask for that specific thing, but she also, because she filled up with a bit of empathy, she's not going to be quite so stuck on it as she might have been otherwise. And she might not take their no as criticism or somehow rejection of her. And she might even be a little bit more creative in coming up with other ideas that could meet her needs and also care for her kids' needs in this situation. So the more that we open the possibility, just even the possibility that all our needs can matter, the more open and free our relationships will be. And the fourth D is deserve. So deserve is when we think that somehow, because we've done something, we should get something else. Like, because I took the garbage out 3 times this week, you should do the dishes. Or because I showed up on time for the past 5 days, or 5 times we've gone out, then the least you could do is buy my dinner. Those are kind of simplified, actually. My examples are simplified. But the basic idea is that the more that we engage in our life and our relationships based on needs, meaning I'm going to take the garbage out 3 times a week because I value our relationship, or because I want to support you, or because I want to contribute to the family. It isn't because I'm doing something for you. And because I've done that, connected to my needs, I don't have a sense of deserving something back from you. I've done it with an open heart, a willingness to support our relationship, or a willingness to contribute. So the 4 Ds of disconnection are those kind of annoying little habitual things that we do in our relationships that keep us from actually connecting with other people. And the reason why it's helpful to know these things is because we can start to make different choices about how we interact with our relationships. Thank you. The 4 Ds of disconnection, keep it in mind.